Hi, I'm Zach Stewart.
Laura Hotchkiss.
And I'm Daniel Kvoras. On this podcast, we improvise in character as hosts of a morning radio show in a fictional country called the Driftwood Isles.
Everything we say is made up, and none of the events, people, or places are real.
It's that simple. Now enjoy this episode of Good Morning Driftwood. Welcome back, good folks, to Good Morning Driftwood. It's me, your pal, Dirk Wiley, with my pals. Number one, Penelope MacGuffin.
Hello. I was worried I was going to be number one.
You were worried you were not, or were?
I did a really definitive point to myself when you said number one, and then I panicked that you were going to say Bench.
Of course you're friend number one, because you're here.
Yeah.
And you know who's not here? Bench PerDiem.
See, I wasn't scared when you said number one because my immediate thought was that's not going to be me. There's no way that's going to be me right now.
Know your place.
See, as you've said before, you know where you stand. In general.
I do. It's on a boat.
I guess in a literal sense. Well done. I teed you up for that one, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Bench, of course, is off solving some dumb murder at sea, and I'm sure we'll hear an update about that later. But right now we have more important things to deal with because those things are here and present and timely. And one of those things is that a trio of climbers are reported missing up on Finicky Ridge, the mountain chain at the center of Driftwood Island. I know, it's terrifying.
It's a bummer.
The search helicopters have been dispatched to find them, but they found no trace of the trio thus far. And it was reported that the zero, not a single, piece of beef jerky that they found or trail mix that may have been left behind, or
Swan jerky.
Swan jerky. They might have had some of Lionel Titty's swan jerky with them to get them through. And hopefully they do have something like that because sustenance is hard to come by up on Finicky Ridge. But it was reported that they told a friend they were hoping to climb the summit of Mount Silence on the southwestern edge. But as we know, that does tread dangerously close to one of Finicky Ridge's dead zones. Now, these dead zones, they have no phone signal, they can't be penetrated by radio waves, and most worryingly are the hill people who live in the nooks and crannies of Finicky Ridge, and they make their homes in these dead zones. So people are very concerned about this missing trio of climbers.
You say most worryingly. I think the number one worrying thing there is the lack of Wi-Fi, not the people that live there.
Potentially dangerous. People living in nooks and crannies, hiding in alcoves.
Yeah, but you know how annoying it is when you just can't get Wi-Fi signal.
You not being able to find a YouTube video of a cat playing the piano.
Or when you only get 3G and suddenly it's just loading slowly.
That is a fate worse than dying on a mountain ridge.
Yeah, I can't even imagine it.
Penelope loves her tech. You can't be you love your phones, you love your gadgets and gizmos.
I love
you have so many tablets.
So many tablets. I love a 25-second video of someone telling me a point of view. Point of view. You're shopping at the supermarket and they're just walking around a supermarket.
Do they do anything funny?
No, there's no bit.
Shopping.
They're literally just shopping. That's what the algorithm
Penny, and
you want that. You need that. That's something that's important to you in your daily life.
And Penny, is it still true that your inner monologue is just the automated voice from TikTok? That's when you hear yourself in your head. That's what it sounds like.
That's absolutely what it sounds like. Some people, when they learn a second language, their thoughts are still in their original language. With me, I didn't learn a second language. Just the TikTok voice made its way in.
Made its way in.
Real surprising.
That sounds almost like it took over, like some type of mutiny or military takeover.
Okay, first of all, mutiny should not be the first option on that
Why
list.
is it that?
I don't know, like a virus or infection you can start with.
Suppose.
But you are too mutiny on the brain. Okay, I may have the TikTok voice in my brain, but you have mutinies in your brain.
I love a good mutiny.
Also,
it's an uprising.
Guys,
what's that? Ben?
I'm so sorry. I am on a ship right now, and if you keep saying mutiny real loud, it's like saying fire in a movie theater. Like we can't say that here.
People might get
people might get
it's gonna be real problematic.
Yeah. And we don't need that right now, but we'll get to that later.
I don't think it's bad saying fire in a movie theater because sometimes that film is fire.
It's illegal.
I think that's a different kind of fire. If the film is fire, then it's like really good. Whereas if there is a fire, then everyone might die.
Yeah,
those are kind of opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of fun.
Though it's such a shame that we've made it illegal to say this film is fire. You know, like it's a shame that we are not allowed. I don't think that's been made illegal,
but I do think it should not be allowed to be shouted in the middle of a film.
I don't know. Sometimes we just want to do a review there and
also you're yelling in the middle of a film. That's not. We did
not ideal.
Yeah, we saw Hidden Figures the other week, and you shouted, "This film is fire!" partway through, and there was a panic throughout the theater.
However, that specific screening was a rowdy screening of Hidden Figures, so that was okay.
It was a rowdy screening of Hidden Figures, which they do every month at the Driftwood Cinema.
Sometimes,
it's a big staple.
Sometimes you just want to start a chant, and sometimes that chant is Jiminy Project, Jiminy Project, Jiminy Project.
It rolls off the tongue real nicely. Yeah.
I started...
Then everyone throws their protractors at the screen whenever they're doing math.
Yeah. I mean,
we all go to the bathroom and take up all the signs.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I know that we should, just clarify for any listener who's not attended one of the mandatory viewings of Hidden Figures at the Driftwood Cinema, but it is the film about women who were doing the mathematics for the space program, who were very, I would argue, undervalued and not appreciated.
I think that's objectively
I don't even think that's an argument. I think that's just the thing.
It's what was happening.
And yet, obviously, it stars just an incredible lineup.
Janelle Monáe is
stunningly good.
Celebrity
in that film.
crush right there, Janelle Monáe.
Stunningly good. But I regularly, when the astronaut John Glenn appears on screen, I like to start "You go, Glenn" little chant there, because I mean you gotta. You absolutely gotta.
Favorite John Glenn.
Fan favorite John Glenn.
Yep. Everyone takes out their walkie-talkies at that time and does the
Yup.
Yep. Sort of a symphony of white noise and walkie-talkie talk.
And then what you want to do as well is you want to start
walkie-talkie talk.
You really want to start chanting, like when they start to get awarded the Presidential Medals of Freedom, you really want to start at like, finally give them their dues. Okay.
Slow clap. There's a slow clap.
Oh.
Yeah.
What can I say? Some people go see The Room as like a late night interactive viewing experience. The Room being one of
The Room, not Room.
No. The Room by Tommy Wiseau being one of the worst, arguably one of the worst films of all time. And they throw spoons at the screen. And we said, no, why go see one of the arguably worst films of all time when you can see a great film? You could just go see
an objectively better film.
Objectively solid film. Hidden Figures.
Knocks it out of the park every time. Yeah.
And obviously when we threw spoons at the screen, it was just a leftover because we'd bought them all to go see The Room. And we just had them there and we're like, we better use them.
Because they're like, no one's going to enjoy this movie. We have to sell a bunch of food to it. So
and then we all
they have the Room stew. They make a big old pot of stew at the Driftwood Cinema for the films they think are not going to be as popular.
Yeah.
And so they give everyone a nice big bowl of stew to go see The Room because they know that that's the opener for the headline act of Hidden Figures at the midnight screen.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time.
I know that some cinemas do like a short film sometimes before the full feature. But in Driftwood, of course, we have a full feature film as an opener for another full-length feature film.
Which is always Hidden Figures. For every cinema, every weekend, there's, the new release, which is the, whatever came out that week is going to be on the main screen. But then afterwards, they play Hidden Figures every weekend.
It was real
because they know that people aren't going to go see the new movie if they're not also going to see Hidden Figures afterwards.
It was really fun last year when all of us went to do Barbenheimer and we had to go watch. It was Barbie and then Hidden Figures and then Oppenheimer and then Hidden Figures again.
A second Hidden Figures because they know people aren't going to stick around if they don't get their Hidden Figures.
Yeah, it was Hid Barbenheimer.
Figures. Heimer.
Head Barbenheim figures.
Yeah.
There are a million variations of it, and they were all better than just Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
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 What a film.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it is also like, God, the cast. It's a stacked cast.
Stacked. Top to bottom.
The cause.
Old Cause. Mahershala Ali. Nation's sweetheart,
Young Sheldon.
Glenn Powell. Sorry, I think you mean it's old Sheldon.
Well, at that time, he was fairly young.
Mahershala Ali was Sheldon?
Oh, no. Old Sheldon, Jim Parsons was in
Octavia
it.
Spencer.
Ah, I see.
From Big Bang
Obviously.
Theory, yeah.
How have we not mentioned Octavia Spencer yet? She is the
treasure.
I just take
the
it.
face.
I just take it as a given that whenever I talk about anything, I am thinking about Octavia Spencer.
She's in most films. It almost goes without saying.
At least
if you're
most films that are...
if you're talking about a stacked cast, you know Octavia's in there.
When is the next viewing of Hidden Figures?
Tonight.
Tonight?
It's
oh,
always
thank goodness.
tonight. Every single time it's tonight. Yeah.
I love that that's the answer to the question.
Maybe if we took like the audio of Hidden Figures and put it on one of those helicopters that are searching for these trio of climbers, it'll draw them out.
They would appear immediately.
Like a lure, like a fishing lure.
How long have they been gone?
Approximately 8 days so far.
They've missed 8 screenings.
So
of
they
Hidden
missed
Figures?
8 screenings.
So they've got to be getting sick now. They're hankering for Hidden Figures.
I will say I have, while I've been gone, I have been every day paying to rent Hidden Figures and watching it on my phone.
Just buy it.
Just to,
Why have you not bought it?
No, I want to support. I want to keep supporting it. I want it to add to the box office tally.
The streaming platform that is selling Hidden Figure. Oh, you want to run the numbers up on Hidden Figure? I applaud that. It needs its credit.
I don't think you have to run the numbers up in Hidden Figures. Every single time I go on the streaming services, it's the number one.
Yeah.
I believe
they're already number one.
I believe globally it's absolutely not number one. Like globally, sometimes people say like, Squid Game's number one. That's what everyone's watching on the streaming services sometimes. But no, here in Driftwood, very rare for someone to take over.
That Bench is running up the international numbers. Then
it's very much like Coca-Cola.
I was going to say I am scared that if I stop watching it or renting it, then it might go down.
I applaud your commitment.
Yeah.
To raising up Hidden Figures.
Absolutely.
Much like we need to raise up the women in that film, and they were not being raised up enough at the time.
It's so upsetting to think.
It makes me so mad.
Hey, look, we have a documented record now, and we can watch it and we can say never again. Okay, never again will Octavia Spencer be made to feel less than an absolute superstar, wonderful woman. Amen. If I met Octavia Spencer, I think I wouldn't be able to speak to her. I would just stand there staring.
I would just applaud.
Just one standing ovation.
Just her presence.
Salute.
I think it would be every so often you have to remember like how to breathe. Like you have to really concentrate on the basic functions of your body. Maybe like you're ill or you're in a panic. Every so often you'll have like something will happen. You're like, you just have to concentrate on the basic medical functions like breathing. Say you feel like you're...
What will happen that would cause you to... Because usually that sort of happens inherently by being alive.
If you're just like, I think I might throw up right now. You're like, I feel a bit queasy and maybe I'm going to throw up.
You should go to bed.
But maybe you're like, you're on a train or something. You're like, oh no, this isn't the ideal time to be sick right now. So I'm going to really concentrate on like breathing and centering myself and trying to like...
I see what you mean.
Like really concentrate. I think that would be the state I would have to go into if I saw Octavia Spencer.
Just start breathing.
Just breathing.
Concentrate on your breathing.
And blinking. Just actively telling my face, blink now.
So Octavia Spencer would walk up to you and you would stare at her, gasping for breath and blinking.
Yeah, I think that would be what I would do. Yeah.
All right, well, I would need to be far away from you because that's going to drive her away, and there's no way you're embarrassing me in front of Octavia Spencer.
Look, Octavia Spencer famously has never visited the Driftwood Isles.
As many letters as we write.
Famously has never visited.
Please, Octavia Spencer, if you are out there listening or if anyone listening knows Octavia, please reach out to her.
That's actually that's the missing person we want to find today.
Oh,
Octavia
so you don't care
Spencer.
about these climbers
at
all?
I'm sure they'll be fine.
We just want to find Octavia.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
The three missing people we really need are Octavia Spencer, Taraji P. Henson, and Janelle Monáe. Those are the three.
I mean, when you put it that way, I can't disagree with you.
No.
And that's why we have the 3 thrones here in the studio.
One day.
One for each of them for when they...
We're not allowed to sit on them.
No one. It's like royalty. It's like the king and queen's chairs in a monarchy. No one else can sit in those chairs, and they look very, very comfortable.
They were so
They're perfumed.
expensive.
They're expensive as the rest of the studio, as every other piece in the studio, a piece of equipment in the studio combined.
Mm-hmm. We polish them every day. They're dustied every day. The area around them is hoovered. My office chair that I sit on has like a stain from when a bit of mayonnaise from a sandwich fell out and stained it. It has not been cleaned in 2 years. But those thrones, if any stain makes it to those thrones, I will kill for those thrones.
They need to be immaculate for the moment. If any of one of those 3 treasures happens to walk through these doors, we need to have their throne ready. And we hope that one day they will. And with that, we'll head to our first commercial break. See you on the other side. All right, welcome back to Good Morning Driftwood. I guess it's time we check in with what's going on with Bench's wacky dumb murder.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. That was us doing sad trombone noise because you're such a sad sack, Bench, because you're not here.
I couldn't even be bothered leaning across to the sound desk to press the button that would make that noise.
You don't deserve real sound effects. Real sound effects are for people in the real studio.
That's fair, I guess. Once again, I'm really sorry that I'm not there. I've been stuck in this wild escapade of what started as one murder mystery, which was then solved and then moved into another and so on and so forth.
And was it solved?
The initial. So this all started when I went a couple of weeks ago at this point.
Yeah, catch up any listeners who may not have heard your first segment.
I was basically duped into what was supposed to be a murder mystery party, a fake murder mystery by the Baron von Dead on his luxury yacht. Of course, something went wrong and he was actually murdered. And I was stuck on his yacht trying to solve the murder. Eventually, I did solve it. It was his mother who did it.
So that was the mother.
Clues that led to that. That was the mother,
You found a note that said mother, I recall. But that was just really frustrating because we were more concerned with getting caviar into his shoe so that you could bring it back to the studio for us to eat. But
I still have those. I still have it. It's not smelling great.
Okay, if it marinates, that's fine.
If you make a promise, you fulfill that promise.
Agreed. Much like if you promise to be in the studio, you should be in the studio. But I guess you turn on that promise whenever you feel like it.
But I'm stuck.
So mad about this. I'm going to move the microphone away from my mouth.
Oh,
I'm not even.
Penny just pushed the mic away in such a dismissive. It looked really cool, actually. Oh, she's pulling it back.
Well, I wish I could see it.
It was really cool. It was excellent. I'm going to do it again. I'm pushing the mic. I'm not even. Oh my God, talking over me. If this was in the studio, he would never.
Penelope with these power. Anyone watching on video is seeing these power moves from Penelope. Oh, and then she flicks it away, and then she crosses her arms, and then she stares off towards the booth, glowering. Man, she's got a real authority rating radiating off of her right now. She's the captain now. All right, Bench, take it away. What's going on here?
May I speak? I don't want to speak over anyone, God forbid.
She's really in the commander's seats. I'm now sort of her, the number 2, the guy on the side who's like, the king, what we're going to do this. Yeah, it's sort of first mate situation. So I'm in her stead. I'm taking orders, and I'm going to kick it over to you to catch us up with what's going on.
Well, after that, again, this is still, you guys all know this. We've talked about this last week as well. But after that happened, we had to go refuel the yacht. We were stuck on the Baron's luxury island. There was another murder. Once again, unfortunately.
Who got murdered that time?
The second time, that was Percival Thick. The second time, who was the chief competitor of the Baron in the wood business.
Right. Thick Woods.
And I did solve that murder as well. It turned out that Percival basically had an affair with everyone who was on board. Every single person had an affair with him, and everyone had a motive. That was really difficult.
How was your and his lovemaking?
Oh, that was a long time ago. That was a long time.
You said he had an affair with everyone on board, so I assumed it was you as well.
Yeah, myself included.
Everyone.
Yeah,
it was everyone. But again, that was a long time ago.
Well, I mean, if he's having an affair with everyone, he must be quite a skilled lover, I would imagine.
I'm just building the microphone back. I have questions. So the affairs, you said he had an affair with everyone, but then when we asked you what was your affair like, you were like, oh, that was ages ago. So I guess what my question is was the affairs happening at the time, or were these historic affairs that all just came to a head in one moment?
And how did you feel about him having affairs considering your own romantic history with him?
Yeah.
I didn't mind it because, again, the thing between us, it ended a very, very long time ago. I had found out that he was having an active affair with everyone else who was on the yacht.
So
at the same time, they were very upset about it. A lot of
the way you're framing this, you're like, okay, we had an affair, but it was so long ago. It was so long ago.
Oh my God,
like,
I didn't care.
Mean anything. Everyone else was really mad about it. Everyone else was really mad about it. I wasn't that upset about it because it was so long ago. This is sort of a lady doth protest too much type situation, Bench. Clearly there's some feelings.
Is it a lady doth protest too much, or is it a lady has already solved the murder and is trying to explain how that happened to her friends?
Just you keep trying to like get us back on like, trying to deflect it by talking about the murder.
Yeah. And talking about the murder and distracting us from what is clearly more on your mind.
Hey, this is
it was Lucretia. I can tell you that. It was Lucretia Derrick. She confessed. Lucretia Derrick, of course, the heirs to the Derrick family fortune.
That wasn't the question we asked.
That's not what we were talking about, Bench.
That's not what we...
Again, you're trying to get the topic off of your own romantic history. Last time it was about Jacqueline, who we do have follow-up questions about, and now it's about this thick paper man. Of course,
I thought you guys might be interested.
Their main product was thick paper, which was just particularly thick notepads. You only got about 5 sheets per notepad, but man, were those pages thick.
They were luxuriously thick. I thought I'm trying to get past this. I will say the reason I'm trying to get past this is because there's been a third murder. I'm now sitting in a room with 3 dead bodies, okay?
So convenient.
You have the other dead bodies with you still? Bench.
I have to take them with me because I don't want other people to tamper with the evidence.
I'm sorry. Earlier, Bench told us that the caviar is going a bit off, yet Bench is taking dead bodies.
Carrying them with him as he goes from one dead body to another.
Yeah, and the dead bodies are arguably older than the caviar.
Yeah, probably.
Because the dead bodies
No, they're not.
The caviar came.
No, the caviar was brought onto the ship and was made and caught way before the events of this.
Yeah, but the caviar would have been kept in a refrigerated area. Yeah, where the dead body, as soon as it's dead, that's tick, 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 tick,
immediately.
Tick.
Yeah, dead bodies aren't good once they're dead. Whereas caviar, it's gonna be good for at least the first day or two after, that was 2 weeks ago. We don't have refrigeration. If you kill a guy and then you take out caviar at the exact same time, that guy is immediately starting to rot. Whereas that caviar, you got a day or two. And if you put it in a shoe, you've got even longer because shoes have natural preservative properties, as we all know.
Exactly it. And you just said you don't have refrigeration, so those bodies must be
gross.
Yeah, they smell bad. This is not a fun situation for anyone.
Then get away from them.
Then come back to the office.
I am trying. We are on our way back now to Driftwood. Do you want to hear what happened?
I suppose.
I guess.
I'm going to push the microphone away. I'm not going to listen.
Oh, it's so cool every time she does it.
We were ready to go back, but Lucretia was trying to cover her tracks, and she burned the engine of the yacht. We were stuck on the island. We're trying to find out what to do. And the only sort of mode of transportation to take us back is this old ship that the Baron kept in his remote island. Is an antique. It's called the Haunted. It's an old Spanish warship. It is absolutely filled to the brim with skeletons.
That shouldn't faze you because you're absolutely full to the brim with actual recent corpses.
Well, it's spooky. It adds. There's a real spooky vibe going on. And listen, ever since we set sail, again, hopefully should be back today if things go well. But things have been getting strange. People are saying they're having visions. People are saying they're seeing ghosts. People are saying that it's called the Haunted because it's haunted by all the spirits of the dead crewmen. who were here before, even though it was called the Haunted, even while they were still alive. So I don't fully get that. I obviously think that's all nonsense. But one thing that is harder to dispute is that we did find the body of the Professor Butts McGee, dead with a sword of Anne Bonny stuck to his chest, which is called the sword of the old pirate Anne Bonny.
Killed?
Yeah.
God, Bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta get out of. Are you using this? Are you using the Haunted to get? Are you at sea now? Have you taken off and are you heading back?
Yes.
So the
We
ship
are
has
en route
left
back.
the island.
Yes.
With the
Yes.
Is Lucretia still on the ship? Because you now is
Lucretia
the mom
stayed on the island. Weirdly,
staying on the
Lucretia
island?
and the mom decided to stay.
Okay, well that makes sense considering presumably you were trying to bring them back to then just have them be arrested. Where, as we know, anytime anyone is on an island, the law can't touch them, which is very inconvenient when we live in an archipelago. But that is the way that the laws were written. As we know, the laws were written by pirates, so they were kind of giving themselves an out in that. But so you are on your way back now, at least, with a bunch of bodies.
I am.
Okay.
A bunch of bodies, 3 recent and I don't know, several hundreds more that are much older. But trying to figure out what happened to the Professor. I will say that the only, I wouldn't even call it a lead because it's obviously preposterous, but Jacqueline Von Dad, of course, the Baron's sister.
Of course you're bringing up Jacqueline. Last episode, Jacqueline was the top of your mind. You couldn't stop talking about her and your storied past as nemesis, as sleuths, when you both were sleuths, and then she gave it up, but there was still a lot of sexual tension between you. I'm reading that right?
Oh, and there still is.
Oh, yeah.
That is exactly accurate. And that is a sordid past and present and probably future.
Hey, Bench.
Yeah.
Getting some Jacqueline on the Haunted. You getting in there, buddy?
Say that again? Am I getting in there?
Yeah. Is it going down in the high seas?
Hey, I hope
not. And are you going down in the high seas?
I hope not. There's too many bodies.
No. There's too many bodies. That's not the caviar does work as a bit of an aphrodisiac, but the bodies really kind of counter that.
Yeah, but seeing those bodies, it's like, oh, mortality, life is so short and precious. We should have sex.
Yeah, but her brother died and her mother did it. That's kind of a buzzkill.
That's fair.
This whole conversation, I can't help but think, once again, Bench has been next to bodies like a total creep and not asked for permission to be near the bodies while speaking to us. And first of all, he's like, I'm next to 3 bodies, as if we're just going to be chill with that. And then he brings up the hundreds more. Like, how much of a creep? You need to get back to this radio station. You are so creepy when you're not there.
Yeah. It almost feels like a consent issue for us that you're not like checking in with us. Like, is it cool that I talk to you when I'm next to all these bodies? Because now I feel weird talking to you.
I am just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I can only imagine Jacqueline is not really super into the guy who insists on hanging out with all the bodies.
Yeah. What do you like? Take them with you when you're on your little Jacqueline dates?
Yeah.
Sit them
We're
around
not
a little
going on
cafe?
dates.
They have a little picnic on the deck of the Haunted.
On your little holidays?
Listen, there's possibly ghosts here.
Possibly?
I don't know.
There's hundreds of dead bodies. There's ghosts. I don't think that was
there's
never.
dead bodies. I don't believe in ghosts.
Everyone else has seen all of the ghosts, and the ghosts.
Everyone has seen the ghosts.
I feel like that's sort of an indictment on you.
Jacqueline says she saw the ghost of the Baron stab the Professor with the sword, but there's gotta be a logical explanation to this. There's just gotta be.
I'm sure that is, but I'd be more concerned about why the ghosts don't want to hang out with you, Bench. If everyone else is seeing ghosts and no ghosts are visiting you, I'd be like, man, am I not interesting or cool enough for the ghosts to see?
You know something, Dirk? I didn't think of that. That might be a good point, and that really bums me out.
You should maybe do some reflection here, which the ghosts can't do because obviously ghosts famously don't have reflections, but
don't exist.
Good one, Penny.
I mean, I think personally as well, I think if I was going around multiple times being like, ghosts don't exist, and then being real sad that the ghost didn't speak to me, I think I would take a look inwards and realize that I was the problem because I didn't believe in them in the first place.
Yeah. Maybe
Like-
work on your attitude, get some hobbies. That's how the ghosts and Jacqueline are going to be more interested in you.
This is real Tinkerbell rules here. Like, if you don't believe Tinkerbell dies,
Yeah, if I don't believe them,
well,
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
well done. You just
Classic
killed
Tinkerbell rules.
Killed off Tinkerbell. Well done, Bench.
I will say I'm not trying also to. I'm not. The only thing I'm not trying to get with Jacqueline. What I'm trying to do is get back to the studio and be with you guys.
Okay,
That is
okay.
my top priority.
Okay, we are your friends. Stop lying. Stop just straight up lying,
Okay.
telling us what you think
Also,
we
all
want to
these
hear.
denials, like, I'm not trying to get back with Jacqueline. When you say that, obviously, we know you're trying to get back
Trying
with
about
Jacqueline.
lying, man.
Okay, I'm thinking. I don't know. It's not a good idea. It never turns out well. It never turns out well.
Look, all I'm saying is
It's a murder.
this whole time you've been like, oh, the affair before, but I'm real chill. Like, they've had an affair with everyone else. Like, I'm real chill about it. And now you're like, I'm not even trying to date Jacqueline. Like, you need to take a hard look in the mirror.
Be honest with yourself, Bench.
Okay, can I be honest?
Yes, please. Please.
I don't listen again. I don't believe in any of the supernatural stuff, but I did earlier try to take a hard look in the mirror, and I couldn't. I think I saw through the mirror. It wasn't that I didn't see my reflection. There were other people behind me, and they didn't have a reflection either.
Bench.
I don't know if we're all
no.
dead or.
Oh, no.
Bench.
You saw through yourself?
Yeah, that's not good.
Does everyone who go on the haunted become ghosts?
Bench, you are on a
gosh, I hope
ghost
not.
ship, and it feels
Oh,
silly
God.
that you are the last person to realize this, and we're not even on
I'm
the
worried
ghost
now.
ship, and we were like, that's a ghost ship.
That's for sure
Yeah.
a ghost ship.
Get
right?
off the ship.
Yeah, and have sex with Jacqueline before you do, please.
Yeah. Oh my God. It would be so much nicer if you just came back with like a positive attitude because
Yeah.
you'd had like some Jacqueline sex.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I'll try. That feels wrong. I'll try to solve this murder and be back
can
as soon as I
try.
can.
We don't
It
care about
doesn't
the
feel wrong to
murder.
say you try. Yeah, we don't care about this.
Okay,
murder,
you don't
Bench.
care about the murder. I care about the murder.
I care about your happiness. And I think what would make you the most happy
That's
is to
nice.
get some
I
action.
miss you
buddy.
guys.
Get some action,
I
brother.
really miss you too.
Action, get back here.
Yeah.
And don't bring the bodies. I swear if you try and bring the bodies.
Oh my God. You will not be allowed in the studio with a bunch of bodies.
If you try and bring 3 bodies
I
for the
have-
thrones and then you put them on the thrones that are respect.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh.
That's disgusting. That's
Can
disgusting.
you imagine?
I need to hold on to the bodies until law enforcement can take them over. So hopefully they'll meet us at the port when we get there.
Hopefully. Yes.
hopefully.
It blows my mind that law enforcement still have not been properly involved in this.
Stunning. Stunning.
Because we've been off island.
Really shows you how undervalued the whole precinct is.
Yeah. And how limited they are in terms of resources and
Oh.
jurisdiction that they can't even go an inch into the
No.
to shore. If you run to the beach and go into the water at all, they can't arrest you.
No.
Yeah.
It's
If you
like
drink a glass of water, they can't do anything to you.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, the water's in me.
it's like the whole plot of Jaws was actually based on how bad the police force here can be when it comes to water. Like, it was actually
The whole plot of Jaws was based
All
on
of it.
how bad the police force can be here.
Yep, absolutely. So obviously you
Yep.
start Jaws and they're the shark attacks and no one really helps. In fact,
Mhm.
they kind of ignore them and they're just like, let's have more holidays on the beach. That's what they say.
Mhm.
So it starts with that. And then you get the mercenaries. You get 3 people who are like, we're going to get a boat and we're going to go out and we're going to mess up that shark. And that's really telling about all of the times where Driftwood citizens have had to take action, like take matters into their own hands. Yeah, I mean, I thought what Steven Spielberg did was real. I mean, he denies it to this day that it was about the Driftwood police force, but if you really look at it, you know that's what it's about.
Yeah. And Driftwood is known for
We all know-
vigilantism. Yeah.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
He does always lie about 2 things in that movie. One is basing it on the Driftwood Isles, and the second, that shark never malfunctioned. It worked great the whole time. We all know that.
That film was great. What a good film.
Indeed.
Not as good as Hidden Figures,
Good
but
film.
still.
Not nearly as close
No.
as the film
No.
Hidden Figures.
Well, when I come back, we can do a double feature. We can go see Jaws.
That sounds
and
great.
Figures.
And you know what? I hope that when that
actually-
happens, you can bring Jacqueline and we can meet this lovely woman. Because I want to approve, you know, I want to meet the woman who's with my pal Bench, and I also want Bench to be happy. So, you know, I guess good luck solving that murder, but really I'm saying good luck rekindling things with Jacqueline and getting in there, buddy. So,
I guess. Thank you.
What do you mean? Why do you have to say, I guess, thank you? Say thank you. I want you to
Thank you.
You need some action, and you need to stop hanging out with dead bodies. And that's where we're going to end this segment, because I can't let you refute that. I can't let you refute that. I can't even give you an instant to say anything to minimize that. That's what needs to happen, Bench. And we're going to a break. All right, and welcome back. Bench has hopefully had sex in the amount of time that we have had that break, and now I'll kick it to
Absolutely not
for our next story.
Well, if Bench hasn't managed to have sex, maybe this next segment will help him, because the Southern Maritime Museum, a favorite day out for families here at Driftwood, have uncovered a treasure trove of a very different kind. Now, normally, when the Maritime Museum uncover a treasure trove, usually it's, a chest of doubloons, maybe some gold, plundered from somewhere. We've seen, oh my God, so many times they open a treasure chest and we're like, oh, cool, more swords and doubloons. Cool.
Got plenty of them already.
Yeah.
This time, when opening an old buccaneering era pirate chest, a lucky researcher was confronted by some old pornographic magazines from the pirate
Here
days.
we go.
It really...
How old?
So old. It really highlighted how different things were back then. Some of the headlines were promising exposed ankle. Hello.
There's nothing more scandalous when you couldn't see a single inch of skin on the opposite sex.
Oh.
When you could see that ankle,
Hello.
that delicate ankle skin over bony ankle bones.
Well,
the knob on the outside is my favorite part.
Oh, the bone itself, the protruding bit of the bone.
Yeah. Because there's sort of the bigger rounded knob on the inside of the ankle, and then there's the smaller, sort of sharper knob on the outside.
You've just made me think about my own ankle. And
I've thought about it a lot. I know ankle's cold. Every ankle a work of art.
The centerfold, you'll be really interested to know, was just simply one collarbone peeking out from a shirt.
Ooh. One collarbone.
Which one?
Not even both.
Right or
The
left?
Good
left.
question, Bench. It was the left?
The left collarbone.
Oh, scandalous.
Old one.
It's the devil's shoulder.
There was also a pair
Because as we know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey with those collarbones.
Hello.
So the left one is usually a little more wacky of the collarbones.
Yeah. That's the flirty one.
Yeah.
It's the little flirty one. There was a pair of women's pants, not actually on anyone, just hanging from a washing line.
Now, when you say pants,
Not the American version of pants.
I don't know about American, but I do know that in the north of the island, when you say pants, it
means
often means
underwear.
what the rest of us understand as underwear.
Yes.
And by rest of you mean that sort of American weird dialect that came into the island.
Which kind of pervaded certain parts of Driftwood.
Yeah.
Namely,
I don't know what you're talking about.
The West.
My family has been here for generations.
Yeah. No. Oh, no.
Personally.
But the
this happens
dialect.
to be in line with those regions.
The dialect
Whereas the
that came
North
in.
has its own its own specific language elements. One
Yeah.
of which is when you say pants, you mean what other people interpret as underwear.
Yeah, the North really is the home of the language, I would say.
I don't know about that.
Definitely where
No, I wouldn't say that at
Definitely
all.
wouldn't say
it's
that.
kind of the same as if you think about it,
No.
how like it's called English, and then like so the words that they say in sort of England and the United Kingdom really were like the basis of that language. And then other places
Interesting,
really
because
went wild with
English
it.
also did sort of evolve from Germanic languages and other
Exactly.
languages. So it really wasn't the origination of anything. It was kind of the evolution of
Yeah.
other things because languages are constantly
Oh,
evolving.
absolutely. Well, if we think about like Latin and then
Living thing, really.
the roots of the Latin language as well, I think obviously
Don't get me started on Latin.
Oh boy, again, Bench started on some Latin, little pulling out the words. Yeah, obviously when everyone started saying like faucet over here, I found that real strange. I'm like, it's a tap.
That was a recent thing.
Oh my God, like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, everyone was like faucet, and I was like,
By
oh
over
my
here,
God.
you mean up in the north.
Yeah. I was like, what are you
Because over
watching?
Because we've
here,
been saying it.
we've been saying it here in New Derrick
So strange.
for a while.
So strange. Especially
But I
considering
guess
the
you
north
just
is where
realized that.
especially considering the north is like the home of the language. Like if we look back
Again,
to-
I don't really think it's the home of the language
Well,
because
if you look-
language is
I wouldn't
constantly,
say that at all.
constantly evolving.
Oh,
It's
I mean,
a
the
living thing
Driftwood
that
language.
that changes. And even within the north, there are so many different tiny little dialects that kind of sound insane to most people.
Oh, sure.
And have their own eccentricities. And then they also like pick really weird, petty things to fight with each other about that no one else understands or cares about at all, but is super important to them.
If you also think about how like when the North was where the first settlers came from, and then everyone started like moving to other parts. Yeah, on the island. And then other people started like moving to like other bits of the island. And then all kind of like coming together as like a weird little melting pot. But obviously with the island, there's so many like strange little eccentricities about it. Like the fact that 2 weeks ago people started seeing Fawcett, I was like, what's happening? Is everyone just watching the OC all of a sudden? Crazy.
Oh, have you seen the OC? We just got that here.
I
love it.
Exactly. 2 weeks ago.
Love that show.
And you know what?
I must have missed it.
Series.
So much sunshine and just handsome people all over the place.
They're just so happy. Except for obviously all the episodes where they were absolutely not happy.
Yeah.
But then Imogen Heap would play and you'd be like,
oh,
chill.
I love this unhappiness and sadness.
Chill.
Then you just marinate in the heartache of these sun-drenched teens.
Yes. Indeed.
I
wonder what they're up to now.
I do as well. Yeah.
I really wonder.
I've never seen that.
Musings on the origination of language. And I think the OC kind of is the natural endpoint of the evolution of language in many ways.
What you say?
Penny, were there more things found in that? Penny, were there more things found in that chest?
That's true.
No, that was kind of it.
Oh, okay. That was the end.
That was
Pants
it.
just really spun us out there for a while.
Yeah, that was kind of it.
Yeah, we kind of went off on a thing. I just want to make sure we got.
I do have a question. Have you seen them yourself? Have you seen some of the pieces?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Is it hot?
It was like
like pretty hot stuff.
It's a shame that you couldn't take them home. Like they obviously they were
you wanted some private time with.
Yeah. You see them and you're like, wow, I really want to like take this home. But they're obviously the Maritime Museum are like, absolutely not. This is a historic artifact. You got to keep it here. And you're like, okay, but what if I just put on some music? What if I we put on some like Seal or something? And they're like, no, this is a museum. Please stop trying to like get your Spotify playlist on.
Like Kissed by a Rose.
Have you tried?
Exactly. And I'm like, what about
the lighting? Have you tried asking the museum?
The lighting?
Have you tried asking the museum if you can take the artifacts out for a drink first? To like maybe get to know them?
I said that and they were like, you cannot put moisture next to this. And I was like, it's a maritime museum. Okay, calm down. Calm down.
It's made it this long.
Yeah, like that's so weird. Moisture. So weird. And then
also, by the sound of what's in those, there's going to be plenty of moisture around those.
What do you mean?
I don't get it.
What do you mean, Bench?
Sorry, I think you guys were cut off there.
I
for a second I couldn't hear you.
No, we heard everything.
We heard what you said. What do you mean by it,
what do you mean though?
It's fine. We can move on.
No, we've got time.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that we do. Oh no, the ghosts.
I don't think ghosts interfere with radio signals. We've checked that before.
I think ghosts respect the radio. What did you mean, Bench?
Huh? No, I'm Ghost.
He is. We knew he is a ghost. We knew he was a ghost. Everyone on that ship is a ghost.
Absolutely a ghost. It was so weird to me how late Bench was to realizing.
And it took his own shame and making a terrible, terrible comment.
Really bringing the whole radio station down.
Indeed.
This is much worse than I thought. I don't like this.
Being a ghost? Of course not.
I'm not a ghost. I was joking.
Oh my God.
Ghosts are not real.
Matthias just started the ghost protocol.
We do have a ghost protocol.
Wait, Matthias initiated ghost protocol?
He initiated ghost protocol.
It is a thing that happens here because Driftwood is notoriously haunted. We have many relics and artifacts that cause people to become ghosts or be saved from their ghostliness.
You gotta.
So honestly, Matthias, he comes from a long line of shamans, so he actually does have the ability to bring people back from the other side. So hopefully by the time you've gone back here, he'll have prepared all the necessary tonics and symbols and runes to be able to bring you back, Bench. Because I want
a registered nurse.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he just does CPR, and those tonics are like adrenaline and, the sort of like medications you give in normal CPR procedures.
I don't know what he does. I just know that it works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes he likes singing.
Chest compressions,
and he says
intubation.
he says his songs have a healing property as well.
Not-
Sometimes
Yeah,
he
it's,
paints his face or my face. And sometimes
It's staying alive to
sometimes
the
that's-
rhythm of the CPR.
Sometimes it's medical face paints, and sometimes it's just for fun, and we have a nice time together, me and Matthias. But
Those are that's a face mask. Those are needed.
yeah, it's medical. It's shaman stuff. I don't really know the history of it, but it's important. It's important, and it's also important just for bonding, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we can all see
Can't argue with that.
these nice, fine pornographic relics soon.
Yeah, absolutely. The museum is opening later to deal with the stampede of people. The literal
So
stampede.
they want
of
sort
people.
of a museum nights kind of situation
Yeah.
to be available for these,
Would argue it's the best time to go.
especially for this exhibit.
Yeah. Some people are morning people. I get that. Like, I get it. You wake up and you're like, now's the time to start the day. But I think if you're gonna go in the evening.
Yeah.
Low
Especially if we're going to
lighting.
see some
Yeah.
sexy relics.
Exactly. Turn the lights
After
down
dark. Museum after dark.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
That actually kind of ties into our sponsor for today, which is Conway's 1950s brassieres, designed to give women a sharp, angular bust like iconic women of the 1950s. Don't you wish your breasts looked hard and sharp? With Conway's 1950s brassieres, your breasts will become both alluring and terrifying, as they'll look more like intercontinental ballistic nuclear missiles than parts of the human body. Don't you want your breasts to inspire the same fear and wonder as the Cold War? With Conway's 1950s brassieres, you become death, destroyer of boring breasts. Conway's 1950s brassieres, we thank you for your sponsorship. For Good Morning Driftwood, we'll see you soon.
Good Morning Driftwood is executive produced and hosted by Zach Stewart, Laura Hotchkiss, and Daniel Kvoras. Engineered and produced by Zach Stewart. Music by Daniel Kvoras.